It's biscuit time! Today we are making some gorgeous butterfly biscuits. These are perfect for any occasion, but if you just want to make something fun at home, you'll absolutely love these, and I'm sure everyone in the family will too. The things you're going to need today is some white ready-to-roll fondant or any colour of your choice, some good quality food paint brushes, some gold edible paint, some rose spirit or very high quality alcohol, because you were going to mix these with your lustre dust here to make a paint. If not, you can already purchase these colours pre-mixed into a paint form if that's easier for you. I've gone ahead and already made our biscuits. So I've got 3 biscuits that are already cut into butterfly shape. Then I've got a butterfly cookie cutter and an embosser to emboss our print. Some cornflour ready to go, puff, 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 and a rolling pin. So now I'm just going to quickly give my fondant a knead just to make sure it's nice and smooth. And I'm just going to dust the bench with some cornflour. We just make sure that it doesn't stick, because that's the worst when you're finally finished and it's all stuck. And now we're just going to put it on our counter and add some cornflour. And we're ready to roll now. So now I'm going to take my cutter, and first I'm going to cut the 3 butterfly shapes, and then we can go in and emboss. So we just want to press firmly onto the bench just to make sure we get a nice cut. Then we're going to set it off to the side and repeat until they're all cut. I love this new set that I've purchased. I bought this on Instagram from a website called 3D Print All the Things. They're really nice quality actually, and it's got lots of beautiful designs. So now that I've got the 3 cut over there, I'm just going to give this bench a clean up so we don't have excess cornflour. Pop our fondant away so it doesn't dry out, and then we can get to the fun stuff. So now I'm going to take my embosser. Just make sure you add a little bit of cornflour onto that, because you do not want it to stick after all our hard work. And then we're just going to face it down and press in gently to get an even impression. Beautiful. Oh, how beautiful is this cutter and embosser set? And then we're going to repeat that once again. Alrighty, now we're going to just take our fondant piece and put some water on the back and stick it to our cookie. Of course, you can use any other substitute on the back, like jam, caramel, Nutella, but just make sure it's not too wet, because you definitely don't want that seeping out the edges and making it slide off your biscuit. No one wants that. Now we can get painting. This is where you let your imagination run wild, and this is where all your creative ideas can come to life. So I've mixed some lustre dust. This is just a pearl dust, just to give it a beautiful sheen at the end. I've got a little bit of a corally kind of lustre dust, and I've mixed this custom with the white dust and a dark purple kind of color shade, and I've mixed that together to make a custom shade, so I can make these any shade I want, which is the amazing thing about creating your own cookies. You really can make them as custom as you'd like. And then I've got a little bit of gold paint that I'm going to add on the body at the end. So I do need some high grade alcohol, because this will fully evaporate, but it will make it into a paint to get that shine on my cookies for now. If you can't have alcohol, I've heard that you can use lemon juice as well, but I'm not familiar. So I just want to add a few drops in the beginning and mix that through, because you want to get the right consistency. You can always thin it down, but it is hard to keep adding more dust, because then you end up with a lot of paint and you have to wait for it to dry off to put it back in the container, so it's a bit of a hassle. So you try to get the right consistency to begin with, or make it thicker and you can always add a little bit more. This looks like a good consistency for me, but I am just going to test it. I don't want a really strong finish, because I don't want to paint them exactly, because I will be here for ages and I want these to be nice and quick and easy for you at home. I rather the paint a little bit thinner for cookies like this that are so detailed, because then I can do a watercolor style, which will be nice and easy for you at home as well. If I wanted to paint each exact line and be here for a while, if I'm that bored, then I will use a thin brush and a thicker paint to get such intricate details. But I'd rather do a watercolor mix of them all, just to make it nice and easy. So what I like to do, if I can't get my watercolor paints to the right consistency first off, I put a bit of rose spirit in the middle of my palette, and then as I dip, I can just dip into a little bit of rose spirit, and that makes that watered down as you paint. So then you can get a really good watercolor each and every time. So now I'm just going to add a few splotches of the lightest colour first, the pale pink. And then if it's too thick, you can go in with a touch of that clear alcohol and just buff out the edges and let it run out so it gets finds its own way through the veins of the butterfly. Now I'm going to go to the darker pink, and I'm just going to add that in certain areas, and we're going to add some more alcohol just to water that down to make it a bit more spread out. And you want to just make sure you kind of blend the colours together just to give it a nice watercolour look. You don't want it to be all solid and all the one colour. If it does get too dark, don't be afraid to go back over with some lighter colour just to break it up a bit. You really can just keep mixing and matching till you're happy with the painting. Gorgeous. Once you're done, if you want to hit it with a bit more shine, just clean off your brush with that alcohol and dip it into your pearl dust, and anything that you want to brighten up and highlight, definitely go through and add in some specks now. So I'll add it here because we've got a little bit of a dark spot, and then add a bit of alcohol to thin that out, and it just buffs it out and makes it a bit more seamless. Perfect, that looks amazing. So I'm just gonna find a new brush, and I'm just gonna make sure that's nice and clean, and I'm gonna dab into my gold paint here, and I'm gonna actually just do the body of the butterfly gold. These are a suitable biscuit for any ages really. So even if you just want to have a little fun for a high tea, or adults just getting together with your girlfriends for drinks and a little bit of wine, then that would be perfect. But also you could just do this as an easy activity with the kids, and you can give them any colors and they can just go wild and have fun. And they'll of course enjoy eating them afterwards. So you will get a few hours of rest in if you do that. Good choice. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've had a ball teaching you how to make these gorgeous butterfly cookies, and you really can do so many things with these. These could even be added as cake toppers. So if you didn't have a special cake topper and you didn't want to spend money on, you could just make a beautiful butterfly biscuit, and you could do different sizes and trail them up the cake. You really can do so much with biscuits, and they last such a long time. These biscuits have a shelf life of 2 months once they're heat sealed. So I could do these in advance for a birthday, and that would be perfect as a little gift as well. So if you do like my content, please give me a like and subscribe, and leave me a comment of what you'd like to see next time. I will see you next week, and until then, happy baking.